Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. The days when our ancestors or loved ones pass away, they are considered to be precious, auspicious days, and certain pujas have been designed by the rishis to perform to these ancestors on those tithis every time they repeat, on every single year. In fact, whether we pray to devatas and ishwaras or not, it itself sometimes becomes secondary in comparison to praying to the Pitru Devatas. We may miss festivals like Ugadi or Diwali, we may miss divine occasions like Sri Ramanavami, for example. We may not be able to make Tirtha Yatras or pilgrimages often, but performing the rituals and pujas towards our ancestors is of utmost importance and very, very crucial, not only for us, but for our children and grandchildren as well. First, let us look at why these pujas are so important. Why are these pujas needed to be performed for someone who is no longer alive? And what is actually happening behind the scenes? In this video and in the following videos, we will explore all these aspects in detail. We generally don't say this in any of our videos, but we request that you definitely watch this video until the end and watch it repeatedly to ingrain this concept, because this topic is deep and it is relevant to all of us, because death is going to hit us as well someday. If we understand these pujas properly and perform them well, I think it is one of the biggest favors that we can do to our family and our children and the coming generations. Now let us look at what is the purpose of performing these pujas. So Antyeshti, the name, gives us a hint. Antyeshti stands for Antya Ishti. Ishti is a kind of like a smaller version of a homam. So Antyeshti is like the last homam this soul is performing using this upadhi or body. Now let us look at first from the perspective of the person who has just passed away. Why is this puja important to them? See, this is the last samskara, the last puja. The purpose of this puja is to act like a bow which shoots the soul like an arrow into the future in the best possible direction. Because for the soul, the next world and the next life is more important than the one that has already ended. And these pujas are our attempt to help that soul gain a better life going forward. Which is why these pujas have been put right on top. Because in Sanatana Dharma, every puja, temple, festival, almost every activity we do is ultimately for enlightenment, moksha, liberation, whatever you call it. Here, for the first time, we are doing a puja to help another soul in their journey of liberation. And therefore, this is given the highest importance. Now let us look at who are Pitru Devatas. Why are they called Devatas? See, Pitru Devatas are Devatas who govern a certain aspect of growth of our family, and mainly they govern the health and progress of our children and grandchildren. Devatas are forms of energy coming from the same Ishvara, where each of these Devata or deity is governing one particular aspect. For example, the Varuna Devata is responsible for all the water and rain, as we know, right? Vayu Devata is for the wind and the cycles of air, and so on and so forth. Similarly, Pitru Devatas are the ones who govern the growth of our family lineage, and the health of our children and grandchildren. These Pitru Devatas are said to reside in three realms or three different lokas: Vasu, Rudra, and Aditya. Swadha Devi is the one who can take offerings given by us here, sitting in earth, to those Pitru Lokas and to those Pitru Devatas. And the Swadha Devi makes it possible for them to receive the essence of what we are offering here along with mantra. This is similar to how Agni Devata helps us by taking the offerings we give in the Homa to the Devata that we are worshipping. So, When a soul leaves the body, initially they are positioned in the plane of Vasu, which is closer to us. So during this time, we offer them the Nitya Karmas for the first 12 days. The soul then moves on to a farther plane where 1 month of our time is equivalent of 1 day there, which is why we offer masikas on a monthly basis until the completion of the first year. Finally, after the end of an year, the soul moves to a further higher plane where 1 year of our time is equal to 1 day over there, which is why the abdikas or the pujas are conducted once every year thereafter. Now, from the perspective of the one who is performing the puja, the son or the son-in-law, or say the brothers, children, etc., whoever is taking the responsibility, they too have a very deep significance. A human being is said to have three dates, or runas as we call them. The first one is Pitru Runa towards the ancestors. The second one is Rishi Runa towards the rishis. And the third one is Devata Runa towards the deities. Primary goal of every person in Sanatana Dharma is to perform duties so that we can get free from all these rules. And the Antyeshti Samskaras and the following pujas that happen every year, called dinas or masikas, everything is to liberate us from the Pitruruna. Basically, to put it in another way, the primary goal of these rituals is to free us from the obligations that we owe it to our ancestors. Because it is because of them, it is because of their genes, it is because of their existence that we are even existing today. So we are definitely obliged to them. So these pujas are basically helping another soul reach their goal and are also freeing us from our debt to those who even gave us life. So at this point, a lot of us may have this question. If someone passes away, then doesn't their soul immediately amass or take another life form? So where is the question of a Pitru Devata residing in these realms and so on? See, this can be viewed in two ways, while the exact happening may be different with each soul. First, the soul that passes away is kind of governed by the Pitru Devata. So when we are offering to Pitru Devatas via Swada Devi, these Devatas are in turn obliged to help the soul's progress in whichever life form it might have been reborn right now. For example, if say our grandparents have come back as our grandchildren, then offering Pitru Devatas is going to help in their health, in their journey, in their better spiritual inclination, and so on. This can also be viewed as an amsha or a portion of our ancestors remains in the Pitrulokas and keeps progressing through the three planes. Vasu is generally the father's place or sthanam, Rudra is the grandfather, and Aditya is the great grandfather. So, when a fourth generation enters, then by that time, the Pitru Amsha, which was in the plane of Aditya, which is the third plane and the farthest one, moves on from there as well. And after that, the Pitru Karmas are ceased to be performed for that soul. Sometimes it is also possible that the soul that just passed away has already gotten liberated from the cycle of rebirth. For such a lucky and blessed soul, these Pitru Karmas may not be strictly necessary. However, this is hard for people here to ascertain, and the runa still remains. So while it is not needed for that soul, it is still needed for us to get ourselves liberated from the Pitru Runa and help in the growth and progress of our children and grandchildren. So either way, the pujas are mandatory and doing it is of great help to everyone. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Thank you.